News out of Greece today, a rail disaster, devastating and deadly, the result of a high-speed crash between two trains. According to officials, at least 36 people have been killed and about 85 more injured, but they do expect the numbers to increase. There were 350 passengers on a passenger train from Athens up to the north of the country when that train collided head-on with a freight train. The Greek Prime Minister visited the scene earlier this morning, surveyed the devastation for himself. He has declared 3 days of national mourning. But let's show you from those scenes earlier today. It is just after 3 o'clock in the afternoon now in Larissa, Greece, and this is the scene in the aftermath. The heavy equipment in, trying to lift the wreckage, what is left of these passenger cars. They are believed to be one on top of a couple below. It's just a devastating scene, and they've also now arrested the station master in the city of Larissa. As we look at these live pictures coming in, Abby Kugadhasan going to join in from London. She's been collecting all of the latest details for us. And what are we learning this hour, Abby?
Heather, good morning. This intercity train carrying 350 passengers left Athens about 7:30 on Monday night. It was bound for Thessaloniki, but it didn't make it. Just outside Larissa, the city of Larissa, as it emerged out of a tunnel, it crashed head-on onto that oncoming cargo train. And the governor of the region says that the first two passenger cars no longer exist. The next two cars derailed. And as you mentioned, one of those carriages lying atop two others there. And an official with the Greek firefighting service telling the Associated Press that the process right now is very difficult because of the severity of the collision. We've also been listening to witnesses who've been speaking to Greek reporters on the ground. They've been talking about what they've seen, but they've also been talking to survivors who emerged from the wreckage. One man saying that he broke a window with his backpack to escape. Another talking about how he heard screams of other passengers who couldn't get out of their specific carriages. Let's have a listen to one of the survivors.
Ένα μεγάλο μπαμ ακούσαμε, 10 δευτερόλεπτα εφιαλτικά. Αναποδογυρίζαμε μέσα στο βαγόνι μέχρι να πέσουμε πλάγια και να σταματήσει τέλος πάντων η ορμή του. Μετά ένας πανικός, καλώδια, φωτιές, κατευθείαν η φωτιά. Δηλαδή όσο αναποδογυρίζαμε και εγώ ήμασταν κιόλας. Πήρε φωτιά δεξιά-αριστερά.
Again, officials confirming that 350 people were on board the passenger train. Many of them were university students who'd spent the long weekend away and were heading home. So plenty of, parents and guardians in other parts of the country right now watching these images, the same images that we're seeing, and potentially not having heard from their children yet. Officials have said that about 200 people who were not injured have been taken to Thessaloniki by bus, and the others who are injured, some severely, have been taken to a hospital in nearby Larissa, Heather.
So, Abby, as you're reporting to us, we're getting some new live pictures coming in. When you talked about some of the cars that no longer exist, I mean, I don't have any idea what this piece is, but this is very likely to be part of one of the first cars completely pulverized. And as we've been talking with Abby, Reuters has been reporting what a fire brigade spokesman has been telling them in Athens, that the number of people killed, now 36, is expected to be greater, partly because of what happened in the first cars. According to this spokesman, in the first carriage, a fire broke out on impact, and the temperatures were very high, even 1,300 degrees Celsius. This detail just coming through Reuters. And as the spokesperson says, it's going to be hard to identify the people who were inside as a result because of that incredible fire that occurred on impact. Is there any idea, Abby, from officials at this point of how this collision happened?
Heather, this morning we've heard from multiple officials, but not one of them can confirm a cause at this time. A railway operator official saying that he doesn't know how this happened. We saw the Prime Minister earlier touring the site, the crash site, and he said that there will be an investigation. We also heard from the Transport Minister, who said that they will investigate with absolute graveness and transparency. Let's have a listen.
Επομένως, θα ήθελα να δείξουμε όλη τη ψυχραιμία και να μείνουμε σε αυτό που σας είπα, ότι θα κάνουμε το πάντα να διερευνήσουμε τα αίτια και να μην αφήσουμε τίποτα κάτω από το χαλί. Σας ευχαριστώ.
A somewhat emotional transport minister there following one of the deadliest train crashes in Greece in decades. And it is worth noting that many trains in the country do run on single tracks. Sometimes there's double tracks where they're going in opposite directions. We don't know right now what the situation was in this particular area and whether automatic control systems had already been installed. In some parts of the country, that is not yet the case. But again, the transport minister vowing to hold a full-scale investigation with transparency. Heather.
Thank you, Abby. Abby Kugathasan tracking developments from London.